Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 3rd of October 2025. So stocks shrug off a shutdown day 2 as Bitcoin rips, gold dips, shorts and gamma is squeezed. And stocks hit record highs around the globe as AI mania hits escape velocity. Meanwhile, the government shutdown enters its second day, that's for yesterday. Markets chop as lack of data keeps participants in the dark. And of course, all the economic news items related to the government shutdown as well. US stocks were choppy as the government shutdown held back key US data with no weekly jobless claims released. I thought that was odd, and that's probably why they slammed the price of silver. I couldn't find any data, so yeah, of course, you forget that all of the jobless numbers, etc., come from the government data, and if they're shut down, then we're not going to get it. Now, that could be convenient, couldn't it? That could be very convenient. So, as it says here on Forex Factory, that the data is impacted by the shutdown. So, let's have a look, see what we've got. This is going to be an interesting day then, isn't it? We've got a tentative here. So we're not going to get, or it's highly unlikely, we're going to get the non-farm payroll numbers then at 1:30. As it says there, it's tentative. So how are they going to release it if the government is shut down? And the impact of that, of course, the knock-on effect, is also going to be interesting. Are they going to make something up? Or are they just going to make an exception and get somebody to release these? If they do, the forecast is 52k new jobs created. Last time there was 22. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's interesting though. Again, I'll come to this when we get to the metals. Anyway, at 2:20 we've got Bailey speaking and ISM services also. But this one's got a time by it. So are they going to release this one and just not release the non-farm payroll data? We'll just have to wait and see at 1:30. Okay, let's have a look at these all-time highs and kick off with the Dow. So the Dow, not back to the all-time high yet, but it's not far off, is it? We can see here that we're up yesterday, and then overnight we're also heading for the all-time high of 46717. It's no doubts about it, it's going to be taken out at some point, whether that's today without the non-farm payrolls or with them. We're so close to it. And all of the other markets making these highs, it's likely to continue in that direction. In yesterday's trading, again, bit of a sell-off there at the open, but then the market moving higher. It looks like there could be some serious buyers, or sellers rather, getting out of this market, using the opportunity of the initial market to run the prices up, then get out and obviously put some money back onto the sidelines because of the high valuations and the precariousness of all of these markets. Let's have a look at the German DAX. Well, as we've seen, the market's broken out of that sideways move that we've been in for a couple of weeks or more, and is now heading back to the all-time high as well at 24,644. It beggars belief how these markets can continue to keep moving in this direction, but I suppose if they suppress the economic data, then it's a matter of they can do whatever they want. So as soon as the shutdown is over, if they ever come to an agreement, then we will see the markets sort of revert back with the news. But at the moment, as I say, the weekly jobless claims were not released yesterday. So let's see whether the NFP numbers will be. Yesterday, sideways, very choppy in the DAX, then it got going, had a bit of a pullback at lunchtime and then continued higher. The pullback obviously is in part with the the Dow Jones and the S&P, but then the buying came in, supported the market, and overnight we're already above yesterday's high. So this too is heading for that, just like the Dow and the DAX there, both of them heading back to the all-time high. And in the S&P 500, we're making a new all-time high once more as I'm recording. It's going to end badly at some point, but at the moment it just keeps going. Probably 6,800 now is going to be on the cards. As your same thing, futures market up, cash market, we see some selling. Once the selling's out of the way, the market's then free to move back to the upside and mark prices up. Same in the UK yesterday, another new all-time high, 9488, so 9,500 on the cards, up on the overnight, nowhere near yesterday's low. Despite the appalling situation in the UK, the breakdown of society and terrorism returning, the market continues to move to the upside. We had a bit of a shakeout to begin with, as we can see there in the 30-minute, and then a bit more in the afternoon, but now the market's moving back to the upside. Let me just check this daily chart again. Yeah, we did finish on the low, so some selling around yesterday as we start to cross over there. So yeah, selling yesterday with a bit of a bounce around mid-morning, but then finding it's the selling's disappeared. The market is now moving back to the upside. In the US dollar, this moving up yesterday, despite the government shutdown, and up on the overnight as well. So it's having a bit of an impact on the metals. So let's have a look at those. So yesterday in silver, some selling around, but not as much as I thought there was going to be. You'll see why when we look at the 30-minute chart. But overnight, the market moving or trading above the 5-bar moving average, and we actually managed to close above the 5-bar moving average. Now this is unusual because obviously normally when you get a situation in the silver market like yesterday where they slammed the price down because there were no weekly jobless claims, the market would continue and take advantage of this shutdown. But not the case. The market then bounced and it's now moving, heading back. So silver has changed. The dynamics, there's been a paradigm shift in this market from manipulation to the downside to buying the dips, which is self-evident from yesterday's chart there. Meanwhile, in gold, still above the 5-bar moving averages. All of the averages are aligned in the right direction. Market sideways overnight. Yesterday's session also took advantage and slammed the price of gold, but this too moving back to the upside, but maybe not as fast as the silver market. So let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. Yeah, and that's borne out here by the red candle there. So for the last couple of days it's been sideways, but at the moment it looks like it wants to try and break to the downside there. Right, let's have a look at yesterday's trades in the German DAX. So in the German DAX in the morning, the market found support, traded above the high of Wednesday, wouldn't it be Wednesday? Wednesday's high, and then we got into the trading session, which became very, very choppy. As you can see there, we had a potential buy. The market didn't hold, came back, took out the trade, stopped at the 200 MA, then bounced back, and then we had another potential trade to the upside, which it too was taken out as they wanted to retest, and you can see them buying back in when they've done this. And then prices trading sideways once more. Now we have a trade that made it to the scalp, but then the market pulled back again, so we moved to the downside. And sitting on the high, you can see they're just desperate to keep this market on the high or above the high to make that all-time high that we've seen in the daily chart. And then this trade was also a loser, so 3 losing trades there. Before then, the market actually found its feet and then recouped the losses as it continued to move all the way up to the R1 there before it started to run out of steam. So very frustrating couple of hours first thing, then the market finding its feet. So in the afternoon there was no trades, but the market moving down initially with the Dow, and then as you can see there, down to the 200 MA again, down to the R1, and then just past that as well, and then using that as a level of support for the market and bringing prices back when it bounces off that target. So overnight the market is currently in a bit of a sideways. We've got a situation again like yesterday. It's trying to stay above yesterday's high, so this is going to be an interesting one as we head into the 7 a.m. futures kickoff. Right, that will do it for this one and for this week. So as we head into the weekend, watch out at 1:30 p.m, particularly for the metals. If there are no non-farm payroll numbers released by the government, that's likely to be very volatile once more, follow the same pattern as yesterday. But if they do release it, then it will be very, very interesting. It's such a big news item. I'd be surprised if they didn't, but you never know. Anyway, have a great weekend, and I will see you in Monday's alert. And as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.